You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. You're listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast. And remember, The Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms. All right, so let's get into this. They've got Christopher Wray at this congressional hearing today, and there was an exciting exchange between Christopher Wray and Matt Gaetz. Let me just play this in the beginning, then we'll talk about it. And it was a great moment. So the great Matt Gaetz with Christopher Wray, who's really he's a beaut. Let's just say it that way.
We all know what
American people need to understand what just happened. My Democrat colleague just asked the director of the FBI whether or not they are buying information about our fellow Americans. And the answer is, well, we'll just have to get back to you on that. Sounds really complicated. But I have other questions. I'm sitting here with my father. I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Sounds like a shakedown, doesn't it, Director?
I'm not going to get into commenting on that.
You seem deeply uncurious about it, don't you? Almost suspiciously uncurious. Are you protecting the Bidens?
Absolutely not. The FBI
You won't answer the question about whether or not that's a shakedown, and everybody knows why you won't answer it. Because to the millions of people who will see this, they know it is. And your inability to acknowledge that is deeply revealing about you. But let's go from...
Okay. And it goes on, that was pretty good. Are you working for the Bidens? You know, this is the reality of the situation, okay? These hearings, every congressional hearing is worthless. Nothing becomes of them, okay? Nothing becomes of them. This hearing today, that was a good moment. There may be some other good moments. That was a great moment. That was really kind of a historical moment that we may hear about down the road. But think about it, guys. When there are congressional hearings, when has something become of any of them? I've been following these things for many, many years, and no matter what, there are always some great moments or two, and we talk about them in the news, and we get all excited and everything, but nothing becomes of them. Now, this is what I've come to realize in the last few years with President Trump. The FBI is the secret government of the United States. You know, remember the X-Files? The X-Files was more than just about space aliens, but part of the X-Files was about the secret government. And they did an X-Files movie after the show went off the air. Martin Lindell was in it. Mm-hmm. And they said the secret government was FEMA. Well, Mulder and Scully were FBI agents searching for the secret government, but the FBI is the secret government.
I think it's more than the FBI.
Well, they're the main.
I think you have multiple. They had a guy last year. I can't remember his name, but he was on Fox a lot, and he's very intelligent, and he used to work for the intelligence community. Mm-hmm. And he's the one who said that all these people care about our dinner invitations. I can't remember his name.
The press, the media.
Yeah. He said they live and die by that. But he said what you have are many organizations, because they asked him, who is running the government? And he said there are many organizations and people, individual people, that all work collectively for this because they all have the same goals in mind. He said they're not always working together, but they're working collectively for the same purpose, and they're all on the same page, and they all use the same tactics. So that's what you have here. Well, I'm sure you have some groups that, like you said, have more control than others.
That is true, but the FBI is the main one. And it started with J. Edgar Hoover. They have this network, domestic intelligence apparatus. They have agents. They have field offices. They have FISA judges. They got a whole operation going. Yeah. So the government in general is not run by elected officials.
Do you think they're the ones that got George Bush to pass the Patriot Act?
Probably. But the FBI are the ones that control everything. Yeah. Okay? They control everything. And what's happened is they've finally been exposed. Everything up until Trump was really conspiracy theory. You used to hear stuff about, J. Edgar Hoover and different things. It was all conspiracy theory. And if you remember, even if you go back to the AB scam, and John McCain was a part of this, where congressmen were taking bribes from Middle Eastern guys, and it turned out they were undercover FBI agents. Okay. Yeah. So this is just the way the government works. But what's happened is the conspiracy theories of J. Edgar Hoover have been shown time and time again since Trump came down the escalator as being fact, and people are wise to this. And when Trump comes back in 2024, and if he doesn't, we're in big trouble, guys. We have no country left if he doesn't come back. But when Trump comes back in 2024, there's a lot of things that are important for him to do, the wall, everything. Everything's important. But one of the things really that needs to be done is the entire FBI Washington Bureau, that's the headquarters of the FBI, needs to be totally dismantled. And I'll tell you that I don't know if that's possible to do, but it has to be done. Everyone that works in that building, I don't care if they work as a janitor or in the cafeteria, need to be fired, retired, whatever they got to do, and forever be banned from working for the federal government. It's a very bad organization, a bad place, and it's really sad. This country of ours, we're the greatest country ever, and what we've learned is it's not a free country. And President Trump is the only one that can take this on. All these people that are running against Trump, some of them are just hucksters trying to make money. Some of them are working for the deep state, and maybe one or two of them are just egomaniacs that are on some vendetta like Chris Christie. I don't know. But there's no one running against Trump in the Republican primary that has any good intentions for the American people or this country or anyone other than themselves.
Well, and they would rather destroy Trump at the expense of the country. I mean, they would rather see Trump. They have no problem seeing the country go to hell as long as it keeps Trump out of the White House. You know what I mean?
That's right.
To them, everything's on the table here, or off the table, wherever the expression is.
That's absolutely correct.
That as long as they can keep Trump out of the White House, anything goes, and we're the ones paying for it.
Well, see,
it's crazy.
The reason this is because when I talk about the CIA being the secret government, and of course there's different different organizations in the government that have control, but the FBI is the focus point, and the government's also kind of run by the bureaucracy. The problem is this is how it's been since probably the end of World War II.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't think it was this way much before that because you didn't have modern communications. Things weren't as advanced. And I know we had phones and things in World War II. But
that's when we really became a bigger world superpower.
Yeah.
They saw the money that could be made.
Yeah.
Because that was really, other than like the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, which Civil War was like a domestic thing. But the Revolutionary War, those wars were kind of far back and far removed. But when they had World War II, especially, it was very profitable and lucrative, and they saw how powerful it made the country, how much money could be made, and that's why you have had endless wars since.
Yeah, that's right. And, but it really started after the Second World War with this government control over everything that's going on like it is today. And everyone who's been president in that period for sure, but everyone that's been president other than Donald Trump has been handpicked. There has been no one who's been an outsider. Everyone might think this person was an outsider or that person was an outsider. None of them. And that goes for President Reagan. Remember, President Reagan, I tell this to people because people don't understand this. People think he was an outsider, and he was portrayed as that because he came from California. That is not true. In the 1976 Republican convention, Gerald Ford was the president. Remember, he was never elected, right? He was appointed vice president. Nixon was like, and at the 1976 Republican nominating convention, a lot of people in the Republican Party were saying, well, President Ford probably shouldn't be our nominee because he wasn't elected. And they actually were talking about in 76, the Republicans were talking about nominating Ronald Reagan for president and President Ford at the bottom of the ticket for vice president. That was a real discussion that they had. Obviously, it didn't turn out that way. They didn't have a discussion like that with Ronald Reagan because he was some outsider. He was a Washington insider more than you realize, and he was I'm not saying Ronald Reagan was a bad guy. What I'm trying to tell you is he wasn't like Trump, who's a complete outsider. And these deep staters and the Uniparty, they just can't see straight. And it's not just Trump. Okay, obviously they got to do whatever they can do in their minds to stop Trump. They think it's for the best of the country, these people. They're sickos. But what they're worried about is who's going to be the next Trump. They're worried about other outsiders coming in. And Tucker Carlson, I tell you guys, I agree with Tucker Carlson maybe about 85% of the time. I don't always agree with him. He said something in that interview with Russell Brand that I disagree with. He said there's only been one populist president, and that was Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt, was a populist president, but he was also Republican establishment. He had been in Republican Party politics in New York, and
not to
all
mention
these things.
he was a Roosevelt.
Yeah, well, yeah,
he was from one of the rich. I know Trump's rich too, but that was an old money.
It's an old money
blue
political
blood family. I mean, they
had two presidents.
The whole family was connected.
Yeah, there's two presidents in that family.
That family probably helped fund a lot of presidential campaigns too.
He was a populist president, but he was also a Republican Party insider.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is a very populist president. He's the most populist president that we've ever had. And he's a complete political outsider. And the political donations and things that he made were small compared to what the military-industrial complex and things like this do. So when I heard Tucker say, well, we've had one true populist president, Teddy Roosevelt. Trump is the number one most populist meaning like man of the people president we've ever had.
And Roosevelt didn't he get in because the president, he was vice president.
Yeah, McKinley was assassinated.
He first got in because McKinley was killed. But I would say I agree with you on these things that I think the FBI and other federal agencies have had a lot more control than people have realized. But I think since Trump has come along, their grip on things has gotten tighter and their need for control has gotten stronger because, like you said, they're trying to prevent Trump and another Trump. They're trying to prevent
the next Trump,
the will of the people. That's what's scaring them is they weren't able to put somebody in that they chose, and they're afraid of that. So they have tightened their grip on America, and I think a lot of I have different theories, but I think that they're allowing all these drugs in and they're dumbing down children because it's a way to control the population and to control people.
That's exactly right.
They interview young people today. They have these people on YouTube that go interview young people. I can't believe how stupid these people are. This one guy we were watching, he was interviewing people in New York. He interviewed a college graduate. He was wearing his cap and gown, walking around New York City for some reason. He had just graduated from NYU. He asked him very, very simple questions like how many states are there, who's the vice president. He did not know any of these answers. No. I couldn't. The college graduate. I mean, kids these days, they have so many distractions with their cell phones, TikTok, the teachers teaching them about transgender stuff and their woke ideology. I mean, they're just dumb. Yeah. You really have to, if you have kids at home, you really have to take it upon yourself to introduce your child to classic literature and teach them things because they're not going to learn it in school.
You and
I got pretty good education growing up. This doesn't happen anymore like this.
And what's going on now with the social issues, okay? Yeah. A lot of people say everything's a distraction, and I don't do that. When most people say it's a distraction, it means, oh, I'm not interested in that. Let's talk about what I'm interested in. That's not the definition of a distraction. That's the definition of a self-centered individual. But there's stuff it's true. I hear that. But there's some things that are going on in the country right now. All this transgender stuff. There's some weird racial division things.
Yeah.
Those literally are distractions. And what I mean is there's all of a sudden we've got all these divisions going on. These divisions
more than ever
that we're dealing with right now. The transgender sports one's a big one. But you can list these divisions that are going on between groups in this country right now if you want. But what all these divisions are, this is a carefully orchestrated plan that the deep state are doing through the media. They're creating these divisions and creating these issues to divide the people as we move into this election season.
Right. Well, the Democrats are bringing back segregation.
Because you go to a Trump rally.
That's exactly
right. It's the most diverse place you've ever been.
That's right.
And I've taught you guys about this many times. I've been going to Republican Party events for many years, and they were almost exclusively white. And if there was a minority there, and I don't mean Hispanics, because here in Florida we got a lot of Cubans and things, so they're Republican, but you wouldn't see black people very much. If you saw a black person at a Republican club meeting, they typically were the invited speaker, and they would talk about how they escaped the Democrat plantation and now they're Republican. Now you go to a Trump rally, and this is an amazing thing. You have a lot of black people, you have Hispanic people. There's a lot of gays for Trump, a lot of Asian. They're very diverse, not just
that scares the hell out of them.
Not just with ethnicities, but religion and sexual everything. So all these divisions that we're seeing, and this includes, by the way, the stupidity of reparations, all this talk, all these old issues from the 80s and 90s culture wars that have been brought back by the media now. Are out there to divide the American people because we're so united in this country behind Trump. So those issues are most definitely distractions by design of the deep state, and they're using the state-controlled corporate media to give legitimacy to them.
It's very easy young people are followers, and I would say a lot of people, even older people, can be subject to giving into trends and trendy things and following others. That's just human nature. Not everybody's a leader. And they use the media and TikTok. And I think a lot of these people on TikTok are fake. I think a lot of them are paid to do things, to spread trends, to get things going, to mislead people, and to, like this feminization of men, this toxic masculinity trend, this anti-white trend. I'm not saying everybody on TikTok's not sincere in what they believe, but I think sometimes the people that get these things started maybe are just paid actors that are being paid to do something that goes viral and get things going. I mean, you can't believe everything you see. Most of the things you see on TV or on social media are not true anyway. But people believe it and fall for it. You have to be really careful. Now, it's just scary.
I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters. And if you would like to support the program, of course, there are many ways to do that, but one of those ways is to become a patron of the program. And there's a link in the episode description to our Patreon page, and there's a link on my website, briancraigshow.com. All Patreon supporters have access to commercial-free editions of each and every podcast episode, and our top Patreon supporters get a live, on-air thank you shout-out on each and every episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Rome, Wisconsin, Mike P., Melissa, Richard, David, Arctic Fox, Carlos, Paulette, and John. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for your support. We'll be right back.
Robert Allen Miltenberg invites you to time travel with him to the Roman future. His new novella, available at Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. It's the golden age of Rome, a time of peace and prosperity. And Scadius Commodius Lavatorius is its greatest scientist. But for all he's achieved, one question haunts him. Will Rome survive the test of time? There's only one way to find out. Come along on this cosmic romp of an adventure. See if you can read the signs any better than a brilliant scientist can. Prediction, science fiction, allegory, national glory. This is a satire at its most gladiatorial. Center stage in the Circus Maximus of your mind. A story of time machines and timeless politics, strange Roman cuisine and gambling parlor tricks, spinning gold and crossing the river Styx. That's the Roman future. Available on Kindle and paperback. Go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble now and visit The Roman Future by Robert Allen Miltenberg today. Are you craving the taste of fresh organic greens in the comfort of your own home? Look no further than Braga Farms, a family-run urban farm in the heart of Dallas-Fort Worth that brings the farm-to-table experience to your doorstep. Growing over 45 different varieties of fruits and vegetables in the most natural and wholesome way possible, Braga Farms has made urban homesteading dreams come true. Experience the highest quality greens with Braga Farms' Amazon Prime collection. You'll discover a wide range of expertly curated farming and gardening products that make it easy for you to grow farm-fresh food right where you are. The collection is carefully selected to increase productivity and bring ease to your life. Start your journey back to the land with Braga Farms. Braga Farms can be found at the downtown Dallas Farmers Market every Saturday and Sunday. If you're in town, be sure to stop by and say hi. With a deep appreciation for the land and a passion for helping others, Braga Farms has helped dozens of starting farmers, and they're there for you too. Embrace the farm-to-table experience and enjoy the highest quality greens today. Visit BragaFarmsDFW.com and redefine what it means to eat local. BragaFarmsDFW.com. Introducing LawMate.ai, your 24/7 AI-powered legal assistant. With LawMate.ai, get affordable and accessible legal information tailored to your needs in multiple languages. No more confusion or high cost. LawMate.ai is here to guide you through a wide range of legal issues anytime, anywhere. Are you ready to experience seamless legal help? Visit LawMate.ai today and revolutionize the way you access legal information. LawMate.ai.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. I want to play this clip from yesterday. I didn't get a chance to play this on the show yesterday. This is Jean-Pierre. They're over in Europe, giving more money to Ukraine and everything. And she was asked about the cocaine that was found at the White House over a week ago now.
Do you have any update on the investigation into the cocaine at the White House? The Secret Service indicated that they're closer to...
I don't have any updates. As you know, as you just mentioned, Secret Service is under their purview. They're certainly investigating the situation. I just don't have anything updated. I would refer you to the Secret Service on that particular question.
Okay. Here we are, the media. Okay, someone in the media asked a question, and then they move on to 10 other things.
She likes that word purview.
Yeah.
That must be on her word of the day calendar because she uses it constantly. So she says you can ask the Secret Service. Do they even have access to ask the Secret Service that? Or obviously it's a brush off.
Well,
I mean, can they go ask the Secret Service about this?
Jean-Pierre, every White House press spokesperson has their little thing. You remember Psaki was circle back and all that. What hers is I cannot talk about that from here.
Right.
Where the hell can you talk? Can we talk about it over there, you idiot? They found cocaine at the White House over a week ago. There have been no new developments. The Secret Service is testifying to Congress in a classified closed-door hearing, which I don't understand why it's classified. And look about what's happened here in the last week.
Yeah.
They found cocaine at the White House last week. They found this whistleblower. They've indicted this whistleblower against Biden, who has all this juice on his business dealings with China. I mean, could you imagine this whistleblower that got indicted? And there's a global manhunt by the Biden administration. I almost said Bible. Can you believe that? By the Biden administration, searching for the whistleblower. And think about it this way: what they've done is the same as if Donald Trump had indicted Vindman when Vindman was who should have been court-martialed and put in Leavenworth for betraying the commander-in-chief of the United States Armed Forces. Could you imagine if they found cocaine in the White House on a Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday he indicted Vindman? It's amazing they would have arrested Trump in the White House for that.
It's amazing how they accuse Trump of so many things that Biden has actually done. But the media, they are more concerned with protecting Biden's image than doing the right thing. And they will protect him no matter what, and it's a lot of deflection off of him.
Oh, yeah.
Accusing somebody else of something, to deflect off. And that's what they do.
That's page 1 in Saul Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals. Accuse your opponent of doing what it is that you're doing. And I got to tell you, Vindman should have been arrested. He was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army, and he went up against the commander-in-chief. I don't know why he wasn't arrested and court-martialed.
He was put up to it. He was protected.
Yeah. And I'm sure
state put him up to
and
it.
I'm sure he's a wealthy man today.
Yep, exactly.
So then Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, remember, these are deep state people too.
Yeah.
Mika Brzezinski's father, remember that name Brzezinski, you can look this up. Mika Brzezinski's father was the national security advisor to President Carter. And I remember as a kid hearing his name, Brzezinski, and I was just a kid when Jimmy Carter was president. I was a little kid, but I remember, and like Brzezinski, that sounds Russian because it was all during the Cold War.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen to this. This is Mika Brzezinski with her creepy jerk of a husband, Joe Scarborough, talking about Biden. And Juanita Broderick tweeted this video. And Juanita Broderick, a very nice lady, she was raped twice by President Clinton, according to her. And what happened, what Juanita Broderick says, what she alleges, is that he raped her, and then when he could perform again, he did it again.
They also managed his schedule very carefully.
Yeah, I think his staff needs to own his age. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think they do a good job helping out the president. And I'm not talking about it I'm just saying, if you are managing a president's schedule and you are managing a president getting on stage and getting off stage and getting on planes and getting off planes, and yes, he's 80.
Oh my God. Now, before I play the rest of this, when you're president of the United States, you don't need caregivers. You're not supposed to need caregivers. You're supposed to be able to do the job yourself.
Exactly. She means she's mad they're not covering his ass.
So this was live on TV.
Yeah.
What Mika Brzezinski is saying here is that the people around Joe Biden aren't doing their nursing duties properly, and she's accusing them of neglect of an elderly man.
You need to be there for him, and you need to make a pathway, and you sure as hell better make sure he doesn't fall on a sandbag. And I blame the staff for that. I mean, these are the things that are going to hurt him. These are things that are going to be played on a loop. Okay? Let him do his job. Let him do his speeches. Let him work on policy. Let him do his connections in Congress, unlike any president that we've seen. I don't know, since Clinton. But my God, make sure, your Secret Service, you're his staff, that you were there and you're telling him what's next. And it's not because, don't take this.
Oh my goodness gracious. Tell him what's next.
The Secret Service
where to walk?
Are there to protect a president. They're not there to direct their every movement.
He can't even get from one place to another. When you're busy and you're on stage, and we've been on stage, I've done speeches, and I'm so nervous. I'm doing the speech. I'm trying to get it right. And when it's done, I don't know which way to go, and I'm looking for direction. So do a better job, because you can't have these video images of the president tripping or the president going the wrong way. It's not going to work in this presidency, because his age is going to be a factor. His age is going to be a factor, and it's your job to make sure he gets from one place to another. He can handle the presidency. You have to handle his schedule and where he goes.
Well, and the schedule.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my God.
So when President Trump,
she's mad that they're not telling him where to walk.
Yeah, President Trump talked about this in one of his speeches over the weekend. I can't remember if it was Las Vegas or Iowa. He gave a speech on Friday and Saturday. It was in one of those, and he was talking about this very thing about getting lost when the speech is over. He says, when the speech is over, I think it was Iowa. He says, when the speech is over, I can either walk left or I can walk right.
Exactly.
And I walk down the stage. And
Not that complicated.
and that's it.
You go backstage.
I mean, if you can't figure out how to get off a stage,
I think what's going on,
you're not mentally competent enough to be the president.
What's really going on here with Mika is she is mad because Joe Biden's not being protected, and that's what they do. They protect him in the media. Meanwhile, Trump slipped a few inches down a ramp because his shoes were slippery.
No, he didn't slip. He was walking slow.
He was holding on, walking slow.
Yeah.
And they don't have any problem with criticizing him and bringing in doctors to talk about his health for a week. Mm-hmm. But Joe Biden, she's mad because the media's job and his job of his staff is to protect him from ridicule. And they're not doing their job, according to her. It's not his fault. It's their fault because they are not keeping it out of the public eye. And that's why she's upset, because he is not being properly protected. And I think what's going on too is she sees that the media is turning on him, and she's not happy about it. They're turning on him for whatever reason. And there's definitely something going on. The love affair is over. I don't think he's going to quit. If they think that's going to happen, they're deluding themselves. But I think they're trying to get something to happen, and in that regard. But she's upset because they've turned on him and they're not protecting him. Right. And maybe she feels that his staff is in on it, that his staff isn't protecting him on purpose either, that they're purposely embarrassing him. She could be thinking that too, and maybe that is what's happening. Well, maybe they are purposely embarrassing him, and maybe that's why she's so pissed off.
The reason they ran him from the basement is because he's so out of it, he couldn't campaign. And now he's getting out and doing things, and it's obvious. Like the way he was with...
he's much worse.
The way he was with Prince Charles over there. I don't call him King. King Charles just doesn't sound right, guys. I'm sorry. The way he was with Prince Charles, I don't care that he walked in front of Charles. I really don't care. I mean, we had a revolution against the British.
Exactly.
I mean, if I met Queen Elizabeth, I would show the utmost respect. I don't have respect for this guy. And I've heard...
No, he seems like a jerk.
I don't know too much about Charles, but I've heard that he's known as an alcoholic, and he's got his skin's all red and everything. I don't know, but I know...
He's got really fat fingers.
I know that I'm not going to defend Biden, okay? Believe me. But I don't get too upset that...
we don't follow English protocol.
That the president of the United States, whoever they are, walks in front of the King of England.
Well, remember the flip out they had when Trump walked a little bit ahead of the Queen? They went on and on and on and on and on about this. But Biden, what he does is just perfect.
But I think what happened, because I watched that footage with Biden, with Prince Charles there a couple times, and I see a look on Biden's face of confusion. Where am I? He doesn't know where he is.
He always looks that way.
He doesn't know where he is or why he's there oftentimes. And it was one of those moments, and all he's concentrating on, Biden. See, I'm not concerned that he walked in front of Charles in general, but why and how it happened is concerning. I think when he is walking like that, he's just concerned with standing up straight, not falling, and going in a straight line where he thinks he's going to go, where he's supposed to go.
Like in his head, he's going 1, 2.
Exactly.
1, 2,
like dance steps. I'm serious.
Yeah, no, I think the way he walks, if you watch him, his gait is very strange. He like almost stomps. It's a very weird walk. I've never seen anybody.
Well, I've had people tell me that are in the know with this kind of stuff, medical wise, and they said that with certain types of dementia, there's nerve damage in the brain.
It's like he's thinking about it.
The brain has a difficult time communicating with the legs, and there's some problems.
Right. It's like thinking heel toe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When he has to really concentrate. Just a walk in a straight line.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, let me play this. This is Zelensky. We've been giving money so long to Ukraine that Zelensky's learning English. This is Zelensky.
I want to thank to all Americans. We understand that it's more than 43 billion for today. It's big support, and I understand that it's all your money, but you have to know that you spend this money for not just for fighting. You spend this money for our lives.
Yeah, I'm sure did he say his lifestyle? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now,
at least he got it right that it's our money.
Yeah.
At least he understands that concept.
Yeah, but it's his Swiss and Cayman bank accounts, I'm sure. Now, I know you hear me reference this a lot, and this is how I gauge the situation in Iraq. And I'm going to go there now. Pavlo in Ukraine, and I'm always talking about Pavlo in Ukraine. Pavlo,
I think you've increased his viewership a lot.
Yeah, oh yeah.
His subscriber account, because you talk about him a lot for sure.
Well, one thing I learned when I was in college studying history, when you are studying history, you want to have primary sources. Primary sources in history, when you're studying history, are sources from the time. Like, for example, if I am doing research on the Second World War, I don't go to Stephen A. Ambrose's book because he wrote that later. I go to the Diary of General Patton. That's a primary source. Okay,
right.
If I study the
letters written between,
in
correspondence of people that were alive
at the time,
Anne Frank's book is a primary source.
Yes, her diary is a primary source. Yeah, correct.
She wrote it. She lived
during
it.
the war.
There.
During
exactly.
the war.
That's a primary source.
If Anne Frank would have written that diary 50 years later,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it would be a primary because I'm not sure. But it was something that's written and from the time and from
Right.
the place is a primary source.
From people experiencing it.
And the only primary source of unfiltered information that I can get out of Ukraine is Pavlo from Ukraine on YouTube. And I mean, for those that don't know who Pavlo from Ukraine is, he's a YouTuber, and he's been on YouTube for a long time. Before the war in Ukraine, he was on YouTube, but I didn't know who he was until after.
Yeah.
And he's a 20-something-year-old, mid-20s right now, guy. He's got this Ukrainian bikini girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, she's always in bikinis. And
Russian women are pretty, and Ukrainian women are pretty.
well, Ukraine is Russia. Just ask
they're good
Putin.
looking. The men, I don't know, but the women are pretty.
And I follow his YouTube videos, his vlogs in Ukraine. He's between 25 and 28. He's not in the military. He's out in the farmland. His girlfriend is wearing bikinis all the time out in the vast prairies of Ukraine, not worried about Russian rape gangs. He's never evacuated. And I go to his videos to find out what life is really like in Ukraine. And it's the only place I can go to that is honest, unfiltered information. Right now, they found a house out in the middle of nowhere in Ukraine. They're cleaning it up and renovating it.
Because they have nothing better to do.
And you can go to Pavlo from Ukraine on YouTube and watch these videos. That's his most recent video from 4 days ago.
I'm sure there's other people from the Ukraine that have YouTube videos that show everyday normal life. You showed one of Pavlo last Christmas. He went on a ski trip.
Yeah, that's
at
right.
This beautiful
the war
resort.
Yeah.
With his girlfriend. I mean, it was like something out of a movie. And wow.
Here's another one. We got another Soviet car. That's 12 days ago. So he bought an old Russian car, and it's running. Here he is grocery shopping in Ukraine. Here's one from a month ago. We visited the most comfortable city in Ukraine. Here's another one. We got a new German Shepherd puppy.
Life goes on with Pavlo.
Vlog from Kiev. He's meeting another YouTuber. They're collabing together.
Oh my goodness.
His dog passed away, so that's why they got the new dog. Let's see here. Inside a Ukrainian grocery store, and I'm looking. It looks like a grocery store here. So you go to Pavlo in Ukraine. He's not joining the military.
Yeah.
Here he is at an amusement park with a roller coaster in Ukraine.
Sounds like he's having a great time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, here he is staying in a capsule hotel in Ukraine. You know, Pavlo from Ukraine. Look it up on YouTube, and life seems pretty normal in Ukraine. I'm not saying there's nothing going on over there, but the urgency of the situation is, if it was as bad as we're being told, guys like Pavlo would be pressed in the military service. And his bikini girlfriend wouldn't be wearing bikinis, and she'd be afraid of the Russian rape gangs.
Yeah, I think they'd be a little more concerned.
He'd be drafted.
Yeah,
you know, why is he not in the military defending Ukraine? Why is he making YouTube videos And listen, I'm not giving the guy a hard time. I'm not criticizing Pavlo. I think Pavlo from Ukraine is the best source to gauge the situation in Ukraine, and I encourage everyone to go to his YouTube channel and subscribe and watch the videos. And every time he drops a new video, I watch it. Now, in the beginning of the war, he showed some war stuff, but that's long gone. You wouldn't. He went to a beach resort. I mean, it's amazing. You know what's going on over there. Everything you see on the news is very filtered with an agenda, and the agenda is send Zelensky as much money as possible because the donors want it. And they're all stealing in Washington. And this week, NATO's not going to allow Ukraine in. The reason they're not allowing Ukraine into NATO is because the corrupt gangsters that run the United States, they don't want to share the spoils of Ukraine. Oh. We've got a whole operation going on. If they go into NATO, all the member states of NATO are going to want a piece of Ukraine. And right now, our leaders are the ones that are making all the money. It's like when the Clinton Foundation went into Haiti after the earthquake, okay?
They don't want to share the pie.
They don't want to share with all the other NATO countries. No, they don't. And that's why I'm glad they're not in NATO. I don't want them in NATO. They should not be in NATO. But Pavlo from Ukraine, go watch that. You'll know exactly what – and I'm not being funny. I'm against war. I was not always against war. I bought into the Iraq war with Bush. A lot of you guys did too, but I mean, I'm sure I'll get comments from people in the car. I was never. Okay, well, good. I wish I knew what you knew back then, but I didn't. But I'm here to tell you that this war in Ukraine will last until Donald Trump is president, and it will be over quickly. But if Donald Trump does not win back the White House in 2024, this is another war that is going to go on for 10, 15, 20 years, as long as they can drag it out, because there's so much money to be made. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
From author Jordan Smith comes the new book, I'm Still in Class, available on Amazon. Follow author Jordan Smith's memoir as she navigates the challenges of miscarriages, seeking solace and divine wisdom amidst guilt, societal pressures, and isolation. Through faith, she gains profound insight, forms unbreakable bonds with kindred spirits, and embarks on a transformative path of enlightenment, acceptance, and self-discovery. I'm Still in Class is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. This remarkable memoir explores the power of belief, introspection, and the support of a compassionate community. Author Jordan Smith is offering inspiration and a reminder that healing, acceptance, and faith in a higher purpose are all obtainable even during suffering. Prepare to be uplifted as you witness the remarkable resilience that emerges from life's most difficult trials. I'm Still in Class from author Jordan Smith is available on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback. Order your copy right now and embark on a transformative reading experience. Are you on the hunt for the most comfortable, stylish, and witty t-shirts that make a statement? Look no further than WrightsWittyWears.com. With a diverse range of unique and clever messages on unisex t-shirts, Wrights Witty Wears has something for everyone. Whether you're shopping for yourself or looking for that perfect gift, you're sure to find just what you need. At Wrights Witty Wears, customer satisfaction is their top priority. That's why they're committed to providing you with an excellent shopping experience, offering a fantastic selection of t-shirts tailored to meet your needs and reflect your personality. Not sure what you want? No problem. Their user-friendly eShop offers multiple ways to help you find the perfect shirt that suits your style and ignites your confidence. Don't miss out. Head over to WrightsWittyWears.com right now. Make sure to use the promo code podcast to receive an exclusive 10% discount on your purchase. Make a statement, embrace your style, and enjoy the best shopping experience at WrightsWittyWears.com. That's WrightsWittyWears.com. Happy shopping. Are you looking for a reliable taxi service in New York City? Look no further. Syru Taxi has you covered. Online at SyruTaxi.com. That's SYRU. Syru Taxi operates in the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. And if you're a driver looking for a flexible and rewarding career opportunity, drive with Syru Taxi and take control of your schedule. You can drive when you want and make what you need. Whether you need an SUV, sedan, or any convenient cab type, you can book your immediate ride right from your doorstep. Enjoy the luxury of their rides without breaking the bank. You can also download the Syru Taxi app, available in the Apple app and Google Play Store. So whether you're a passenger looking for a reliable ride or a driver seeking a fulfilling career, Syru Taxi is here for you. Visit SyruTaxi.com. That's SYRU, or download the app right now. Syru Taxi, your go-to taxi service in New York City.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Poor Ed Henry. Remember Ed Henry from Fox? And now he's on Real America's Voice.
Yeah.
And I like Ed Henry, but he's a man with demons. And he got fired at Fox, and I'm not saying that what he did was wrong, but the accusations against him weren't exactly accurate.
He brought it on himself.
He was having an affair with a young girl at Fox, and then she started making claims of sexual harassment. She seemed to me to be pretty willing.
He had many affairs. He also had an affair with a Las Vegas dancer.
Like a stripper type?
Yeah, so he had problems.
Yeah, he had problems. Couldn't
keep his pants zipped up.
And, but Ed Henry's very good on television, and I've seen him cover some Trump rallies for Real America's Voice. He's very good. He does good interviews and everything. But Ed Henry has had a DUI here in South Florida in Palm Beach, And it's really bad. I mean, it's really bad. Listen to this.
That's not good.
The deputy sheriff that, did the arrest of Ed Henry, the deputy sheriff's report paints a vivid picture of the events leading up to Ed Henry's arrest. The former Fox News co-anchor was driving his Cadillac Escalade with a flat tire, its metal rim loudly scraping against the road.
Yikes.
Ed Henry this is according to the police report, Ed Henry seemed oblivious to the flat tire and that he was driving on a metal rim. He was driving at a regular speed, nearly causing an accident when the tire came off of the rim, but he continued driving.
I think that'd be something, especially in an SUV, that you would notice.
Yeah, well, that's how drunk he was.
Yeah.
Following his arrest, further troubling details came to light. Ed Henry admitted to having had 2 drinks before his ill-fated drive. Okay, and that's Steve calling. I'll call him back after the show. Ed Henry admitted to having 2 drinks before his ill-fated drive, an assertion backed by the sheriff deputy's observation of Ed Henry's bloodshot eyes.
Only 2?
Well, that's what he said he had.
Yeah, I mean, can 2 make you that drunk?
Well, it depends. He's lying. His slurred speech and his breath, which smelled of alcohol. Despite the charges, Ed Henry cooperated with law enforcement. He appeared polite and composed. His demeanor, however, did not dispel the seriousness of his actions. His performance on the field sobriety test was poor, showcasing unsteady movement and difficulty with coordination. The debacle ended with Henry invoking his right to counsel, refusing to answer questions. Well, that's a smart move. You
told me you knew a very
I feel so bad for
famous-
him.
Well, he's got some behavior. He's bringing a lot of this on himself.
That's
he
for
needs
sure.
to get control of himself.
Who did I know? Someone that
You knew somebody that was a big DUI attorney who's passed away. And you said, I know who he is, the top DUI. And he said that you don't have to take the breathalyzer, right? You tell me he said that you don't have to take it.
No, you do, and he said take
you do.
it. He said take it.
He said to take it.
There was his
I got it
name.
mixed up.
His name is Richard Essen, and he's passed away many years ago. But he was a regular guest on the Steve Kane
he's
show.
good friends with you guys.
And he was the top DUI defense attorney in the country, and he had his own. He had the breathalyzer machine himself, and if you gave him a number, even if you had no alcohol, he could get the breathalyzer machine to register that number.
Wow. So
And
you can monkey with it.
Yeah, he said it was witchcraft. He said, take the breathalyzer because I can get it tossed out. He says, if you don't take the breathalyzer, I can't get it tossed out. I got nothing to toss out. He said, take the breathalyzer. And this guy, he had a big Miami law firm.
Yeah.
He had the set of sirens for every police department in Florida, in South Florida, his coverage area. And what he would do if they got the trial, he never lost a case. When they got the trial, he would turn the lights off in the courtroom, play the sirens from that police car with the lights going and everything, and have completely sober people try to take the test, and nobody could fail it because you're blinded by the lights. And he said that the breathalyzer, he says it's witchcraft. He says, give me a number. I say 2.3. Okay, did say 2.3. I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
Gosh.
It was magical. It was magical.
Wow.
And he's passed away, and he was so good.
So of course, other people might not have a lawyer that can get that thrown out.
He had a client.
Yeah.
This was terrible stuff. I hope he went to the good place. But he had a client who was an airline pilot who in a drunken driving accident killed a baby. He got the airline pilot totally acquitted.
Oh my God!
And he probably still flying planes. He had a client that killed an entire family. An entire family, mother, father,
how can you live
kids,
with yourself?
And he's not living now. And he got that person acquitted.
I mean, he's the guy who killed the people. My goodness.
Yeah. I mean, but he always said take the best advice is don't drink and drive.
Well, obviously.
But he said always,
like Trump.
No, my goodness. No, that was I like Ed Henry. I feel bad for him and his demons and everything else, but he's good on television.
He gave his sister his kidney.
Yeah.
Saved her life.
Yeah. Well,
so he's not all bad. Unlike George Lopez, who took his wife's kidney and then cheated on her with a hooker.
With his wife's kidney.
With his wife's kidney in his body. What a piece of garbage he is.
Yeah. Did she get it back in the divorce?
No. But here you have a wife who, what are the odds that you're a match for your husband for a kidney? That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Saves his life. and he just peed on Trump's star of Hollywood star like a couple weeks.
I saw that.
Garbage.
He had to be totally
and
drunk
then he
to do that.
repays his wife by sleeping with some prostitute.
Yeah.
I hope she got a lot of money in the settlement.
Yeah.
I mean, what an a-hole.
Yeah.
But Ed Henry, I like Ed Henry. He has some control issues. Obviously, Trump is really has a thing for DUIs. And I agree with Trump. It's not something that should be brushed off. It's like you just said, a guy killed a whole family. It is a reckless, selfish thing to do, to get into a car. And I'm sorry, I've been drunk. We've all been, when you're drunk. I mean, come on, unless you're so drunk you black out, that can happen too. But if you're going to go out and drink a lot, you tell your friends, take my keys. You got to be responsible. Don't let me drive home, please. If I get, if I have more than 2 or 3, watch me and don't let me do something stupid. Have a designated driver. He's got enough money. He could get a Uber home or something. So I'm glad he didn't hurt anybody, but it's a very selfish, reckless thing to do. So is he going to get a fine or go to court? Or
I'm sure he's going to be in trouble. Yeah, drunk driving. He'll get in trouble.
I wonder if he'll lose this job too. Like he lost the job.
I hope not. I hope not. He's like on his last leg of work here.
Well, he keeps screwing up.
But now those of you that go with me on the cruise, guys, I do drink on the cruise. But
you're not driving anymore.
There's
you don't go and drive the boat.
No, I don't drive the boat. But there's
you just go back to the cabin.
There's 2 things when I drink. That's the only time. The cruise is the only time that I really get to go out and relax and let my head down. So I go totally rumspringa like the Amish, right?
Right.
And there's 2 things about when I the drinks are included.
Right.
Okay. So there's 2 things that I do. Number 1. Only drink top shelf liquor. If you drink top shelf liquor, you don't get hangovers.
Really?
And you don't get hangovers with top shelf liquor. And
didn't know that.
I drink a lot of bottled water between drinks and things like that.
That does help, they say.
Yeah. So because
alcohol dehydrates you.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Now, there's a lot of reporting going on about Mike Lindell, and I want to straighten this out. Mike Lindell has been with us here for many, many years. And of course, we're partnered with Mike Lindell, been a supporter and a sponsor of this program and the Steve Kane Show, my YouTube channel and everything for many years. And there's some news coverage about him. I want to go through this and explain it and talk about what's going on because no one in the media has gotten totally straight what's going on. But there's some things that Mike Lindell has said that are definitely true, which I want to go through this in a minute. But we got Mike Lindell, MyPillow, as a sponsor of this program. Mike Lindell, this was before he got banned from Twitter. Mike Lindell followed me on Twitter, okay? And he followed me on Twitter. And Kathy and I were out of town for the weekend, and Kathy sent Mike Lindell a DM on Twitter about advertising on the program. He wrote back within seconds, and they've been with us ever since. So here's the story. I just read you the headline. This is in the Daily Mail, but every story is a variation. Sleepless nights for MyPillow founder Mike Lindell as he loses $200 million.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
After sales dropped 95% since major retailers, including Walmart, pulled his products. And the company is forced to auction off equipment. Okay, that's partially true, not entirely true.
But he was dropped by retailers over a year ago.
Well, this is what's happened. Okay, with Mike Lindell. Obviously, they've taken a major hit in sales. Walmart's the largest retailer in the world.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
And they were thrown out of Walmart over his support of President Trump. And not only were they in all the Walmarts, they had Mike Lindell had the best shelf space you could have. He had the MyPillows were sold at the cash registers, right? Like where the candy and stuff is. So that's like the best shelf position in a Walmart. It's like a last minute, you know what I mean? It's like that impulse buy. Oh, look at that. And he was also, MyPillow was removed from Kohl's and many other retailers, all right? So
he's still on Amazon.
Yeah.
But you want to buy from us.
That's true. With our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane.
But he is still on Amazon.
So let me tell you what's going on with MyPillow and this equipment. And I've not talked to Mike Lindell or his people specifically about this, but this is what's happened. Since Mike Lindell is out of all of these retailers, they're changing their business model, obviously, okay? Mike Lindell and MyPillow, as opposed to being a wholesaler to retailers, which is what they were, like Walmart and everything, they're selling the MyPillow products through platforms like us, right? They're with us, so they sell their products through us. They're selling their products. You see them on TV a lot. You hear them on other programs. You see them there were influencers that they've been retooling and they've moving their facilities. And since they're not in the big retailers anymore, like Walmart, they don't have to manufacture these humongous numbers to fill up every Walmart store in America anymore. So they're scaling and reorganizing their business. So this thing about they're forced to auction off equipment. No, I wouldn't say they're forced to auction off their equipment. But since they don't get these big orders from Walmart anymore, they don't need as much equipment to manufacture quite as much. Okay, they're selling a lot less. They are selling, So the reason I bring this up is, every time you use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at MyPillow.com, of course you're supporting this program and all of my content. And Mike Lindell has been a very good supporter of this program and the radio show, my YouTube channel, and all of my content. And I am in communication with Mike Lindell's office weekly, and I have been for years. Okay, I've got I'm in regular. In fact, just this morning, early this morning, I got an email from Mike's assistant about something, but. Mike Lindell and MyPillow, it's a very important company because he is one of the most open, out of the closet, MAGA Trump supporting business people in America.
He's really put his whole business on the line.
Yeah, and
more than most people
not many people would do that, and he's done it. So
if you're new to MAGA too, if you're new in the MAGA family, if you're just getting on the Trump train, go to MyPillow.com and and you want to support our show, promo code Kane, Kane. That's a good way to do that. But
yeah,
people and our listeners are really great. You guys, I know you guys buy a lot of his stuff. People text me, email the show all the time, and let us know. People say it in the chat. Oh, I just bought the slippers. So that is really awesome, guys, and I want to give you guys props. For always supporting him and probably buying stuff that you probably might not necessarily need, but you want to support Mike or you buy it for other people. He really does make a quality product. I mean, it's not like we wouldn't promote him if he was making garbage. He makes really high quality stuff.
Everything
at great prices.
Everything he makes is great. And
everything.
Right now, this is what Mike's assistant emailed me this morning. It's the 20th anniversary of Mike Lindell introducing the MyPillow to the world.
Oh my God, 20 years?
20 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So I know. So what's going on now is there is a massive sale on pretty much every MyPillow product there is at MyPillow.com because of the 20th anniversary. And you can use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for the discounts on everything on the website, regardless of what it says. So you can take advantage of every special there with our promo code Kane.
Yeah.
But it's very important to support Mike Lindell for a number of reasons. One, he's got a couple thousand employees. He's not laid off anybody. You read these stories, you haven't heard about layoffs, right? True. So he's kept, even though they had to scale down, he's still got the workforce. And say he's got 2,000 employees. That's like at least 6,000 to 8,000 people that are supported by MyPillow because they've got families. Right. And if God help us, if something happened to MyPillow, like they're dreaming of in the press today,
it seems like they get pleasure out of watching this.
They are
of hoping this guy loses his business. They're like waiting for
the thousands of people who earn their living off of MyPillow would lose their living, and it would also be a big blow to MAGA. And look at how successful we've been with Bud Light. Fox News getting their stock downgraded in value because of the exodus of viewers is making it less valuable to advertisers. We're having such a great effect with boycotts. This is a boycott in reverse. I don't know what the word is for that. This is a reverse boycott. Kathy and I have in our home, we have a small house, Kathy and I. Our house is like 1,500 square feet. That includes the garage. Okay, we live in a small house.
We've been in the same house 20 years.
Hey, I'm fine. I like it. We're here alone now with the dog. Our daughter moved out, and she came back this week and took her cat to California.
Yes.
It's just the house is plenty big enough for us.
Yeah, it's the perfect size for 2 people and a dog,
But
that's for sure.
If I counted how many MyPillows we have in this house, my guess would be 15. I think we probably have about 15 MyPillows. And obviously, we don't need 15 pillows. And we have them all. We have the MyPillow that started it all, the original. We have the Giza Elegance.
That's right.
MyPillows. We have the MyPillow 2.0
I keep
with
some
cooling
on
technology.
the couch. When I go out and we watch TV and lay down on the couch, I keep a couple out there.
Yeah.
And then we have some for Emily when she stays. And then we have probably like 10 on our bed.
We have some in the closet.
Some in the,
and
we have a lot.
We have other things too, but obviously we don't need 15 pillows, but we're supporting Mike Lindell. And one thing I want to tell you, all the MyPillow products that we have, you hear me talk about them all the time? We buy them ourselves with the promo code Kane.
Yep.
They offer to send me stuff, and anytime they offer to send me something, I already have 2 of those. So, I've already bought 2.
I beat you to the punch.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so go and support Mike Lindell and support us at the same time. Now, I want to share this story to you. This is Planned Parenthood is a company, Planned Parenthood Incorporated, so they have to release every year. They release and plus they get federal funding. They release all their financials, and this is in the Daily Signal. And their annual report just came out. And it gives us all kinds of detailed data, like the number of abortions, Pap test, and all that stuff, adoption reform. They break down everything because they have to in their annual report. But there's a couple of things I wanted to share with this. Listen to this. Planned Parenthood has reported this year abortions are down slightly. This year, Planned Parenthood performed. I don't like using perform. Performed is like the ballet, okay?
Right.
I think committed is a better word.
I agree.
But they say perform here. Planned Parenthood in the last year performed 374,155 abortions, slightly down from the previous year,
that's sickening,
which was 383,460.
My goodness.
But
I'd like to know what percentage is minorities.
Well, they don't tell you that here. But what I'm interested in is obviously abortions are down, and that's a good thing. But they're down 6,000 or so.
Yeah, not enough.
With the overturning of Roe v. Wade, they've only performed 6,000 less abortions this year than the year before. Now, Roe v. Wade was not overturned it's been a year. So this is during a year after Roe v. Wade was overturned. States immediately started making changes. So I find it hard to believe that abortions are slightly down. I think they're cooking the books over there at Planned Parenthood because it's money. They get all this money. I think there's some cooking of the books going on. It just seems like too many abortions after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Listen to this. Planned Parenthood, this is all their data because they release it, right? Their annual report. This comes out every year, right? I've gone over this many times, not for the last couple.
But I thought they didn't do abortions. I thought they only...
Some do, some don't.
I thought they only were a place where women went for birth control.
No. Some of them actually do them.
That's what they like to tell you.
Some
of
them
they never perform abortion. How many people have you seen on TV that have said Planned Parenthood doesn't do abortions?
Oh,
I've seen a lot of liberals say that. That's a complete lie.
Planned Parenthood, according to the report, Planned Parenthood performed 208 abortions for every adoption referral they gave.
Wow, that's a pretty bad ratio.
And those adoption referrals, they really hate those because that's an abortion they missed out on. They make more money on the abortion than the adoption referral.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how these people can live with themselves. Like
They're
Abby
evil.
Johnson talks about when
evil.
she left. They are. I mean, I'm sure there's some people there that really believe that they're doing a service to these women, and they're deceived. They're being deceived by the devil. But I really don't know how these women and men can sleep at night with those kind of numbers. I don't know. It's really sad to me that abortion has become so mainstream, and that people have abortion parties, and like that kook you played on the radio this morning that wants to have a uterus implanted so he can have an abortion.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, what kind of a sicko? That shows you the mental state of some people living in this country. This guy's walking the streets. That's frightening. I mean, my goodness, society has devolved so much. It is scary.
Something is going on with Planned Parenthood that this is a year since Roe v. Wade was overturned. Abortion restrictions like we've never had in many years passed immediately.
You would think the numbers would be a lot less.
Their numbers would have to be dramatically less, but they're not.
They don't want people to know.
I think they're cooking the books over there. That just doesn't make sense. Let me know in the comments what you all think. Now, we are all out of time for today. We'll be back next time. My name is Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Thanks for listening.